This isn't what I expected at all. It appears the flora they were using as decor has overgrown the entire embassy. I've never seen a tree like this before in my entire life. It'd actually be more fascinating if its branches weren't blocking our way. Keep your settle. And then make it quick. careful not to trip any security. You don't stock up on junk. Don't leave any of that behind. Set aside anything useful and just leave the rest.
Thank you. Thanks, dude. Good luck out there.
So, what seems punishment becomes providence. A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us. You have my thanks, and my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come, let us discuss. Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour of the embassy via barely functioning intercoms. I do greatly appreciate your persistence. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. But then again, who could cage such a beauty? Tell me though, what is it like outside? I heard the broadcast mentioning an attack, then the embassy was struck with a power surge and then... silence. Has the rest of the city suffered quite so badly?
You see that thing pouring out clouds upstairs is called the Venom tree. It's poisonous.
Harmless spores, you have my word, but hard to navigate. Hence why I was guiding you through the intercoms to restore the environmental controls. And release me. It is the sap of the tree that gives it its... well, perhaps not a topic for this exact moment. But I must know of the rest of the city. Does it still stand?
The spaceport is in rough shape, but that was damaged.
Is that right, huh? I shall need to have these repairs seen to sooner rather than later. Now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace that brought you here at such an opportune moment. You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. Who else could just waltz through my door, hmm? And the broadcast spoke of terrormorphs at the spaceport. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all I could provide is some enthused cheerleading and... an archive code. So the UC requires information, then. On terrormorphs, presumably, hmm? Do I see this all clearly?
Correct. We're gonna use the data of the archives to better understand. Oh, sorry. Bingo, hand over your gun so I can get on this myself. Correct, we're gonna use the data of the archives to better understand and stop these attacks.
Yeah, the preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives. Using its data to prevent more attacks, there is logic there. But if I am to grant you access, I have a requirement. For years, House Va'ruun has been known only as an agent of slaughter. We founded this embassy with hopes of shedding that legacy, with little success. In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures it is used for good. Ensure House Va'ruun's legacy is more than just carnage. The knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it to evil ends. Now, you must assure me this will be used to save lives, not endanger them.
As the chair of Constellation, I take personal responsibility in vouching for this man's integrity. He'll keep his word.
Well then, I shall not fear. Please, follow me. Let's hope it still works. Let it be used for good.
Wow. We've got some lore. Rebel. Yesterday marked the beginning of my tenure as House Va'ruun's ambassador to the United Colonies. I've arrived full of hope, believing a gesture of opening this new embassy would demonstrate that we have moved beyond our blood-stained past. But we had barely been in New Atlantis an hour when the troubles ahead of me began to reveal themselves. Our brief walk from the spaceport to the embassy was marked by suspicious glances and sneers from numerous strangers on the street. I fear minds here will not be easily changed. The wrongdoing of Osfaru will not be so easily forgotten. It is my fervent wish that this embassy will come to be seen as an emblem of a peaceful future, free of the stains of prejudice and violence. I will do my utmost to act as an avatar for that goal, regardless of any resistance I may face. Though I might find myself in a strange land, I know the Great Serpent will guide us to success in our endeavor. This morning I was roused from contemplative prayer by the sound of muffled shouting. Upon investigation, I discovered a sizable group of United Colony citizens engaged in a protest on my doorstep. They are opposed to the government's attempts to establish diplomatic ties with House Varun and are petitioning for the immediate shuttering of the embassy. My attempts to engage them in discussion were fruitless. Most would not speak with me, and those who did refused to believe that our intentions in New Atlantis were purely peaceful. The embassy guards were eventually required to intervene, forcing me back into the building when the crowd's anger began to manifest as threats to my well-being. I intend to discuss this matter with my counterparts in the United Colonies. Their aid will be essential if this effort is to succeed, though I fear this will not be an isolated incident. Each day my frustration grows. Great Serpent, what have I done to merit such glory? Recently, Saya Mama arrived at my embassy to receive a visit from such a high-ranking priestess that the crowd had no eyes with the intention of engaging in talks with the United Colonies, and I was overjoyed. Such a gesture from the house could only mean those skeptical of our efforts could at long last see the merit of our works, but it seemed to deceive Saya's same mission and her actual intentions were clearly at odds. She has refused every opportunity to engage with representatives from the United Colonies, and instead she speaks incessantly about the need to surveil the diplomats whose trust I have dedicated my months of effort to gaining. She remained trapped in her mindset, unable to see what we are doing here, guaranteeing the House of Varun's future. The losses from the Serpent's Crusade were incalculable. Diplomacy is the only method through which House of Varun's survival may be assured. I must find a way to make sense. See this? Luckily, I believe tonight's dinner will be the perfect opportunity. Our UC host, Deputy Diplomat Roland, is level-headed, reasonable, I dare say even sympathetic, a rare animal among the UC. If prior experience is to be any indicator, if Saya approaches him with open arms, I have faith he would embrace her as a comrade. Great Serpent will be soon to pass. Great Serpent, is this the taste of my faith? You truly wish me to plumb the depths of my loyalty, but other explanation could merit you to permit such a spectacular disaster. Dinner in Deputy Roland's house was initially promising, even congenial. Yes, there were pointed questions about House Varun's intentions, but an overall air of polite decorum was maintained. But it was one of Roland's more boisterous guests, an officer of some type, perhaps having enjoyed one too many glasses of Chandra, asked, "But how can we trust you, Stakes, after what you did?" Then I believed that Grav had reached her breaking point. They were only words, but words of the battlefield are the battlefield on which diplomacy is fought, and I realized too late that this was the salvo Xiao would not let pass. As dessert was served, Saya excused herself, waited for her return, and waited and waited. When it became clear that Gravid had simply left, I made my pleasantries and rushed back to the embassy. There I found her packing her things. When I asked where she was going, she simply said that I've seen all I need to. And she left without another word. I reached out to my contacts back in Dowsbury, who had assured me that they still believed in the venture and that Jarek Verwern himself still believes. That's all there is. It's I need. Hold on. Okay, let's get back to Twitch. Yeah, we are just doing a little bit of lore here. Test of faith. The last of my staff left today. Our embassy now effectively shuttered. House Vernon's leaders have ceased all communications with the United Colonies. Our own orders from Dawson were not much better, sending our single word in return. No other reason mentioned for our abandonment of our post, for the abandonment of our cause, but I know a test of faith when I see one. I serve House Varun, and a simple understanding of that directive would be that if I follow their orders. But what we do here is greater than that. If we are to survive, it cannot be on our own. If others refuse to see it, so be it. So here I stand, waiting for the day when they all see the truth and commit. There's been no word from my people in months. I made several attempts at contacting them, but I'm uncertain if my messages are reaching Dawsra at all. As such, I've had much time to think. While I was to come here, make a home for ourselves around a distant star, only to demand a return when the first bit of resistance is met. Because of some drunken slight, even Saya is not that influential amongst the court. No, there is something larger at play here that we're calling over staff. It wasn't because of the incident with the Gauntlet that changed his occurred. Yet by saying I may never know what it is, only time will tell. Spies, it has been quite some time since my last entry. A welcome bit of exercise today. United Colony spy snuck inside the embassy. Just before dawn, as I finished my morning prayers, I heard a loud thrum. At first, I presumed my hero was finally giving up, but then I realized what it was. It was the elevator descending. Presuming that invited guests could only mean bad things, I snuck upstairs and hid among the branches of the banana tree. I watched like a gargoyle perched on a parapet as the young man stalked cautiously through the branches of the tree I'd spent so much time cultivating. Obviously scared beyond his wits. At one point, an iron branch snapped as he passed, and I swear the boy left a foot in the air before realizing its source behind. I was shocked that the mere idea of House Vern could still garner such fear, even this long after the end of the Serpent's Crusade. It would still have been amusing if it wasn't such a clear reminder of the failure of my own endeavor. We evaded each other like this for the better part of 2 hours. It was a welcome distraction from my life, now seemed routine. Eventually gave up, returned to the elevator, and onto my meditation. As I think on it now, however, the purpose of the visit is exceedingly disappointing. This was no diplomat, no neighborly knock on the door. This was a spy, someone breaking into somewhere a normal soul couldn't. They think me dead, don't they? Surprise message. It happened. The message was similar. A simple request for information regarding the state of things in New Atlantis. Filled me with relief nonetheless. House Vern had contacted me at last. I had been forced to harden my heart to the possibility that I might never hear from my people again. Today's message was assuage that fear. Hey, welcome. Just reading some more here real quick, finish it up. To their intentions, though their intentions may remain unclear, I'm comforted by House Vern's willingness to re-engage the communication. I am hopeful that it signifies Dawsra's willingness to return more earnest attempts at diplomacy and with the United Colonies. Great Serpent, you enter my prayers at last. I stand firm in my belief that it will be at my side as I continue to serve House Vern's interest in Atlantis. May its celestial light bathe my people and those who once stood against it, and help to usher in an era of harmony at last. Nice. Codes. Go check out the barbarians. So we needed all 3 factions to get along. What's the key to this, though?
I will not have House Varun be known only for slaughter. House Varun committed itself to the armistice. This was said at the time to be the desire of the Great Serpent, and I do not believe the Serpent decides such things on a whim. So, when my brethren left, I remained, honoring the Serpent's will as I saw fit, as is the right of all his followers. The affairs of House Varun are our own. They left. That is all there is to be said on the subject. It was tolerable, even pleasant when my brethren were here in the embassy with me. We remade this place as best we could into a home we all would recognize. Our native flora, our iconography, our connection to the Serpent, they came with us. With my brethren gone, it has been trying. But the Great Serpent has always provided me a path in my darkest moments. The Great Serpent is so much more than a god. It is fate itself. When our founder, Jinan Varun, left the United Colonies 140 years ago for distant stars, it was the Serpent that compelled him to found his now great house. The Serpent made us who we are today. Its voice speaks to us, shepherding us through the dark and infuses our lives with the meaning the universe so often fails to provide.
Learn to pick. You know what? On second thought, I don't want to know. overloaded. We should stop and prioritize what we're carrying.
Another Nova Blast is
Well, hello, son. Glad to haul whatever you need.
Let's do this.
Bye, love. I'm here for you, my love.
I have a feeling today's going to be a great day.
Captain, can I help you?
Hey,
Captain, you're back sooner than... Oh, wait. Did you actually succeed? With Radcliffe? And Balmore? We're all in agreement.
Code pieces from House Faroon and Freestar are collected and ready to be deployed.
So the old man was still lurking around in there. Fine work, Captain. And now, I've already arranged everything with the archival monitors. When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy the codes. Follow them to the letter. Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. The entrance is just on the other side of the plaza across from Mast. Absolute best behavior down there, all right?
Yes? What? Here on Vanguard business?
Captain, we've been expecting you. Please approach the monitoring station and we will go over the rules. Welcome, Captain, to the Archives. To proceed, you will need to deposit your codes into the 3 corresponding receptacles. Once they are verified, I will open the door. Your data resides in Unit 18. You will not be able to access any of the other units. Once you've collected your data, return to the entrance. You may insert the first of the archival codes when you're ready to begin. Unlocking. You may proceed, Captain.
Yes? You needed something?
Just doesn't add up. Spaceport has anti-Xena protocols. How the hell does a whole
There you are.
Captain? Deputy told me what went down. Impressive work.
Captain, if you'd be willing to transfer the documents to the Major, she and I have been discussing what comes next.
Time for us to start getting some real answers. And figure out if we've been asking the right questions. So whenever you're ready.
Can you assure me this data will be used for good?
Yes. It will be. Percival and I have done our damage. This is us starting to put some things right. So with the data out of the way, we've been discussing where exactly this work's getting done. The Red Devil's headquarters on Mars, back where you found Percival, seemed the natural spot. Already has the equipment, the safety measures. Though it sounded like the deputy had a few more things she needed to discuss with you first.
Indeed. The most important of which is getting you your citizenship.
Then I guess we'll see you on Mars.
Captain, if you'll follow me.
Okay. Hello.
All right, Captain. Are you ready to become a citizen of the United Colonies?
I'm ready.
Good. This isn't the only item we need to discuss, so I'll give you the short version. Please raise your hand. Captain, through your actions today and in days past, you have earned your place among the United Colonies. Through service, bravery, strength, and upholding of the mutual good. Will you carry and cultivate these values for as long as you remain a citizen? Then, Captain, I'm pleased to welcome you into the United Colonies as a full citizen. Here, your official ID, and your citizenship dispensation. We've also let the Aphelion Realty office out in the plaza know you're approved to purchase property. Now, the other item we needed to discuss. There's a member of the UC who's asked to speak to you, but this person is in a sensitive position. Normally, we wouldn't even consider something like this, but we think this person has information that could prove useful in dealing with the Terramorphs. And they've stated they'll only share it with you. They asked for you by name. So I need your agreement that everything you're about to see is kept in the strictest confidence. You can tell no one. Can you agree to these terms? Let's hope it never comes to that. Head to the elevator. You're going to subsection 7. I'll make sure you're cleared for access by the time you get there.
Let me guess. You missed me and you couldn't stay away. Ah, I miss talking to you already.
Section 7. These Transformers.
Your file says you have a military background. Well, don't embarrass your old outfit. Stay out of trouble.
I've lived in New Atlantis almost my entire life, and I had no idea this place even existed. The UC certainly excels at keeping secrets.
Black market antiquities. Biohazard room.
Logging authorized entry, unsealing access. You may proceed down the corridor. But there are no additional visitors permitted. Your friend's gonna have to wait out here.
I'll be fine. You go on ahead.
Unlock the whole place for me. See how it is.
President Abeyo was kind enough to give me a few files to peruse. Quite the series of accomplishments you've managed. But now you face a foe unlike any other. An invisible enemy, lurking in the shadows. You're going to need all the help you can get, which is why I hoped we could speak. Do you know who I am?
You do look sort of familiar.
There's a reason for that. Introductions first, though. I'm Francois Sanon, but most know me as Vevictus. I was an admiral during the Colony War. One of its great villains, if you believe the slates. I was to be executed for my crimes, but the previous regime deemed me too valuable to simply discard. So they put me here, a sacrifice on the altar of peace. Even my death served the colonies.
God, the UC's been lying this all this time. Oh, the exclamation point makes me think like that was like total shock. Like, nah.
One final act of rebellion by the leadership that lost the Colony War. The trial was authentic. I faced tribunal with dignity, but my execution, staged. A lethal injection that was anything but. The cabinet at the time, long gone now, wished to keep me on as an advisor, and considering the other option, I was in no place to refuse. So I elected to trade my freedom for my continued existence. But such is the life of a soldier.
Sanon, that's Hadrian's last name.
Very astute. That's my daughter. My progeny. You've been working alongside. Has she shared with you the nature of our little family?
She told me she's your clone, yes.
Did she? So willing to trust Hadrian. I never did succeed in driving that out of her. Our relationship has always been a challenging one. The Major was born to become a great leader, carry on the legacy I established, and was given all the finest training to support it. And she excelled. But the universe cut all that short. Now, though, it's placed even more crucial work in front of the two of you. And I think I have a part to play in helping you accomplish what you've set out to do.
Not every day I get the chance to work with a man living in a fish tank. Keep talking. Fine, I must.
After some long years earning the trust of this current regime, the UC has been permitting me to work alongside one of their recovery teams, helping them gather intelligence on, locate, and organize scenarios to lure in some of the criminals that evaded justice after the Colony War, with quite a few successes, I might add. But in the process, I managed to find something else. The names and locations of Hadrian and Percival's old research team. Valuable manpower for the effort you're about to embark on. I'll tell you where they are, but in exchange, I need something dealt with.
You tracked on war criminals, people like you? How's that work exactly?
Well, who better to find them? But many of them I knew personally, and I've always had a mind for details. Where someone was born, next of kin, you'd be shocked how often an otherwise brilliant criminal flees to the planet just next to the one where they were born, or where a family member resides. I simply use my own personal knowledge and the information our group collects for me to track them down and set things right. There is a former colleague of mine, a man by the name of Dr. Reginald Orlaise. Like myself and Hadrian, he was involved in some of the United Colony's more problematic lines of research. Mech weapons were his specialty. If it dealt death, he could make a deal more. When the colony war ended, he fled, refusing to face tribunal, and has continued to peddle his skills to the highest bidder to this day. But I finally found him. I want you to track him down and deal with him. However you're able. I'm not expecting he'll come quietly. Bring me evidence that the job's done, and I'll tell you what I know.
How about I arrest him and turn him over to the UC?
You can certainly try, but the man's been out there 20 years. He's likely gone feral by now. Easier for all if you simply blow up his ship and be done with it.
Why have me do this? Why not hand this over to one of the members of this recovery team?
Captain, your files indicate a track record of unlikely successes. It is my genuine hope that, perhaps, down the line, you might become a part of our team, and this might be something of a tryout.
How do I know you're not asking me to kill an innocent man?
Speak to Deputy McIntyre. I'm sure she'd be happy to hear that someone might be tying up this loose end at long last. Though I would ask you, do not make the mistake of confusing me for a simple cutthroat.
Speak to Deputy McIntyre. Okay. I'm not killing anyone, but if he's actually as bad as you claim, I'll consider bringing him to justice.
If that's what you require to sleep at night, so be it. According to my information, he's been hiding around the world of Etheria. Wolf System. There is a star station in the vicinity. The Den. The head of the local vanguard, one Captain Marquez, should be able to help you find our men.
Identity verified. You may proceed to the exit.
Well, well. Back for more, eh? See you soon, love.
Not sure if those Varun zealots live in space or got separated from their home planet or what.
Captain, did your meeting go well? I hope it's clear now why we needed you to agree to all the secrecy.
Was not prepared for that.
Surprised me too when I learned it. But the prisoner has proven useful over the years, and kept far from any major decision-making. But I do think it's worth re-emphasizing. No one else can know about this. All right? The Major doesn't have clearance for this sort of information. And she certainly doesn't need a distraction from her current, very important work. Which is why I need you to keep this to yourself. Good. Because bringing this up to the outside world would create the unfair appearance, Captain, that you're unhinged. And that's not a good look for any of us. Now, was there something in particular you needed to discuss about what we were just discussing?
One prisoner asked me to deal with Dr. Orlaz. I figured you and I should discuss.
Dr. Reginald Orlais? He's finally found him. Of course, killing Orlais is completely out of the question, but bringing him to justice... He's been on the lam for years. That'd be a huge win for the UC. What's being offered in return?
Location of injuries and research team members.
Really? He found the members of the research team. We'd already initiated a search for them, but it'd save a lot of time and manpower if he just gave us that information. Captain, if that's the deal, you have my endorsement. Just so long as you make every effort to bring the man in alive. Now, was there anything else you wanted to discuss regarding your meeting?
I'm supposed to head to the den. Anything you can tell me about it?
The Den? It's a star station. Orbiting Wolf, the second star station actually to bear that title. The first one was blown to smithereens by House Varun during the Serpent's Crusade. The place has always acted as a remote strategic hub, primarily for repairing and refueling UC military vessels. But because of its distance from the rest of the UC, things there have always been a little more lax. Patrols included. I can think of worse places in the galaxy for a criminal to hide out.
The chances of being run into a trap.
Trusting the man downstairs would be a mistake. But I don't think you need to be too concerned. This is far from the first name he's handed over, and all previous missions went off largely without a hitch. So while I'd certainly warrant caution, I think you can proceed. Then I'll bid you good day, Captain, and remind you of the importance of discretion.